Hey y'all, Happy New Year. Welcome to Crappy Crafts and other ridiculous and wonderful things. And I always forget to say this at the end, so I'm going to say at the beginning, don't forget to like this and share it if you'd like. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. So today what we're going to do is, on Monday is January 6th. And so my household celebrates that day. And just the way everything kind of came about, we're also going to open presents. Usually we just have a family meal and celebrate the day, but we're going to actually do presents this year. It was a lot of fun over the Christmas break. Got to meet some new family members, loved them. Then I got to see my family members. It was just so amazing. Definitely feeling really grateful. What we're going to do today is we're going to make what's called Simit, and it is an Armenian cookie. And so this is also one of my nephew's favorites cookies. I'm getting it out of this Armenian kitchen cookbook, and this was given to me by my Aunt Anna on Christmas 2007. How cool is that? So yes, I actually kept this. So I'm going to, a couple things. One is, the doctors keep saying, oh, now this is wrong, now this is wrong. So I want to continue on my path of eating healthier foods. I tend to not eat like fast food. I try not to eat processed food at all if I have to, just not the ultra processed at least. Definitely lots of veggies, and I watch my carbs, but I also watch my sugar, my salt, and all that junk, which we should watch anyways. I'm an older Gen X. It's what happens, we just age. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post the original recipe, which it says here was Victoria Jalalian from Takui of Masses Bakery. I don't even know if they exist anymore. Hopefully they do. But this recipe was gathered by the church, and then everybody gave their favorite recipes. And this is actually one of my favorites. But I am going to adjust it a little bit to try to promote that healthier piece. I have no idea how this is going to turn out. I'm also going to try to pause the video so we don't do part one, part two, but I really wanted to make them with you, and then they have to sit for a little bit, like half an hour. So we want to let it sit. So I'm going to go ahead and just get started and put things together. So I also only did a half of a recipe. So doing a full recipe, you end up with a lot of cookies, a lot of. And so I don't bake anymore. I love to bake, but it's just not been, it's been smaller family gatherings and stuff. Now that the families are starting to get bigger, I'll probably start baking again. I give the credit to my grandmother. She has some of the best cookie recipes in the world. It's amazing. So when people compliment me on my cookies, I always say, you can thank my grandmother. Anyway, so I'm going to share with you as we're going what it's asking for. So the first thing is that we're supposed to put an egg in, and I mean, for those of you who know me well, you won't be surprised when I went to pull out my stand-up blender, I looked and I only had one beater. So I have to use this immersion blender thing, which is fine. You'll see I wash my hands a lot. Sorry. Anyway, so I'm supposed to beat this egg. Yeah, take that. Okay, so I'm beating the egg. Oh, it's a tough situation here. The egg won. No, beater won. Okay. So now it says to add, I'm going to put this on a paper towel over here. So now it says to add butter. So butter was supposed to be 1 stick melted. Ta-da! And so I'm going to go ahead and add the butter. And to make sure we have all that good creamy goodness, I'm going to go ahead and scrape that clean. Yeah, baby. This is probably my biggest weakness. I love butter and I love heavy cream. Oh boy. All right. So we've got that. Let's leave that in there. Then it says the milk. So for the milk, what I did was I planted oat milk, and I'm using extra creamy original. And before, I used to be a huge milk fan, but now it's just like, oh, but I drank some of this yesterday, and oh, it was so good and creamy and oh, delicious. So anyways, so I'm putting in 3/4 cup of milk. And then we're going to do oil. Milky goodness, milky goodness. So then we're going to do the oil. And so for the oil, I'm just using this just everyday olive oil. I actually have olive oil with avocado oil blend, and I like to cook with it, but I'm not sure I like to bake with it. And to be perfectly blunt, I would have rather have had like a flavored olive oil. So like I went with, for a conference, we went to Philadelphia, and a friend of mine went with me, and we just kind of investigated Philadelphia. What a beautiful, cool city. And we found this place that made the flavored oils. And I'll tell you what, my favorite ever that I've ever had is it was like an olive oil with white truffle oil. And it was like probably a quarter the size of this bottle. It was like $20. And so like I would use it really sparingly, a little bit at a time. It lasted me a year somehow, but it was really special. Okay, so we went ahead and added the butter, the milk, the oil. Now we're gonna add in the sugar. And so for sugar, I don't really use sugar for pretty much anything. And so I went ahead and I looked it up and I was like, what can I use instead? And so I came up with coconut sugar. It's organic. Again, trying to have less chemicals in my body. And so this organic sugar is supposed to be like 1-to-1. So what you use in regular sugar, you can use in the coconut sugar. I don't know how this is going to turn out. But the thing is like the Simits are not a sweet cookie. I mean, they have got like a little bit of a sweet taste, but it's, I think my nephew described it more of a savory cookie. So it's kind of in between, I feel. So I'm going to go ahead and put the sugar in. All right, then we're going to add spices. And so for spices, it's going to be nutmeg and cinnamon. And y'all, I bought this. Do you see how empty it is? This is me only using one teaspoon out of here so far. That was how empty it was when I bought it brand new. And I looked to see if it was a mistake, and it was not. All of them look like that. So anyway, so I have nutmeg, and then I put in some cinnamon. Thank you, Sherry. She gave me a bunch of spices one day. She's like, here, take these. I'm like, okay. So I have all these spices. And then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna mix these well. Mix these well. Yeah, I know. You gotta wonder what I did with the money that my dad paid for those singing lessons, right? All right, so we're gonna go ahead and mix. I think what I wanna do though is I'm gonna go ahead and use this mixer instead of doing it with the spatula. So, oh, I didn't put that in. That's the cinnamon and the nutmeg. All right, so go ahead and, I love these things. They're so easy, and the cleanup is amazing. So I'm gonna go ahead and this is much easier. Granted, I would have loved to have a KitchenAid sometime in my life, but I don't see that happening, so I'm good. You do what you got with what you got, right? All right, looks really good. Okay, so then it says add 6 cups of flour. So remember we're doing half of this recipe. And so we're gonna add most of the flour, because what happens is that last part is gonna be so thick that we're gonna have to hand knead it. We're gonna knead it. It's gonna be a desperation thing, and knead it. I don't know, you know my sense is a little wacky. My little spicy brain working at it full time. All right, so I'm just going ahead and I'm mixing this. And it comes up with a color almost like a cinnamony color, like a beigey color. Oh, it's looking good. And because of my spicy brain, I'm still going to try to mix it with all the flour. I mean, hello. So hopefully this doesn't end up all in my face. Oh yeah, it's mixing. So once we get this mixed, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the video on pause, and then I'm going to go ahead and let this set for half an hour, and I'll start rolling it so you can see what it looks like, and maybe you can get a batch in. What we're going to do is heat the oven up to 375 degrees. And then they cook actually for quite a while. They cook for like 25 to 30 minutes. So I'm just kind of trying to get this all blended in, and then I'll go ahead and wash my hands for the 1000th time and knead this in. So actually it looks pretty good. Doesn't really need much kneading. I needed to knead. I'm just kidding. Okay, here you go. So that's what it looks like. So like I said, once it sits out for a little bit, then we'll go ahead and, this says roll it on the table, everything. I don't do that. What I'll do is just grab a little ball and roll it like this and then put it together. It looks kind of like a little baby donut. So that's it for now, and I'll be back. And we're back. I know you didn't miss me because I just paused and then pushed it to play again. So I did get everything mixed together. I got the first draft out. Sorry, I itched my head, so I'm going to wash my hands again. I apologize for that. So I went ahead and I baked the first group, and it's supposed to cook for 25 minutes, but because I'm using this convection oven, which I guess you can't see, it's just like a small oven. I set it for 25 minutes, but it had 9 minutes left to go, and they're done. So, yum. So I did go ahead and I tried it. Couldn't help it. This is what they look like. Remember I said little donuts? So they're really easy to make. So first of all, you take your parchment paper and line it. You could use butter, but remember I'm trying to do a little bit healthier, so if I can just cut out a little bit, because I love butter. Anyway, so what I did was I crumpled it up so that it was easier. And yes, I don't like my parchment paper to be really big, so I did cut it a little bit. And then on the directions that I'm going to post in the comments, it says to roll it out on the table, and I don't do that. So what I do is I get a little ball, and then I just do this, and I roll it, and then I connect it on the ends, and then put it on the cooking sheet. So again, this is a smaller oven, so that's why it doesn't cook as long. Plus we made some of those adjustments with the ingredients. One of the ingredients I forgot to tell you about was the mahleb, and that is, it's ground mahleb. It's like it's got like a nutty flavor in it, I guess is the best way to explain it. So you can make these without it. I mean, I've done it, and it can be a little expensive. I think it was a little expensive. So you can make it without it, but I'm actually looking forward to, because I think that there's some things I can do with it that can add some pretty cool flavor to my foods. And then the other thing I wanted to mention is this flour. So this flour is by Caputo, and when we were in Georgia, somebody had made bread, and they used this brand of flour, and this brand of flour is Italian, and it has, as far as I can tell, it has less of the chemicals that our flour has, and less of like a gluten reaction. Like I don't have a gluten allergy, but I do have a little bit of gluten sensitivity, and so the bread was so good. And so I'm actually hoping my nephew got me a great bread maker, and I saw him and I said, oh, do you still have the bread maker? He said, yeah, I use it all the time. So I'm actually looking to get myself a bread maker, because I don't want to take my bread maker back from him if he's using it. And then they've got some of the regular flour. This one's for baking, but I think you could use the other one too. But the regular flour, and it's in a red bag, and that's by Caputo, and it's an Italian flour. So it wasn't something that needed, was like, oh, you can't make these cookies without it. You can use regular flour. The other thing is that the recipe calls for sifting, and so I don't remember the last time I sifted flour. I think it was in elementary school for home ec. Well, that tells you how old I am, doesn't it? Just me saying home ec. But yeah, so I mean, you can. But I didn't find that was necessary. So I'm almost done. I've only got like 3 more to do here. And so then I'm gonna go ahead and show you the last steps. It did help when I made those. I hadn't put this in the fridge, I just let it sit. So it does help with trying to form this, to have it in the fridge and then bring it out. But it's not gonna make much of a difference, like flavor wise or whatever. And so I do make these kind of small. One nice thing too is these can freeze really well, and so you can, that way should said nephew, whose favorite cookies these are, come visit, then I can pull them out of the freezer for him. So we've got, that wasn't a hint at all. Anyways, okay, so we're on the last one. It looks weird. It looks like a little dune serpent. My geekiness in me coming out. So, okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I'm gonna flip off to the side here and wash my hands again, which is fine by me. I wash my hands a million times when I'm baking. And so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna brush the tops with egg, and then I've got black caraway seed and sesame seed. And it's funny because the black caraway seed truly reminds me of my Nana, like my dad's mom, with like she would bake things, some of my auntie, and so they would just bake things, and oh gosh, and that's what this mix reminds me of. So like we use a lot of this in our food. It's great on top of bread. Like I could just imagine on that bread that we had over the weekend, I mean over break, that would have been good on that. But I ordered it like this. It just says black seed, but it's black caraway seed, and then sesame seed. And I've got a really cool container, like little glass jars that my auntie gave me, and I need to find those. So anyway, so I mixed up some. It's like 2 to 1, 2 sesame seed to 1 caraway. No, I didn't count each individual seed, but I bet some of you wouldn't put it past me. So now I've got my egg, and I went ahead and I blended that up with my immersion blender, of course, because it's the easiest thing there is to be able to just clean up after. I love my immersion blender. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to put the egg wash on here. And I know it's kind of something. I was thinking maybe tomorrow, we'll see. I always make these promises, right? But I was thinking of maybe making some budak tomorrow, which is like a pastry. If anybody's had like the Greek spanakopita, it's kind of like that, but no spinach. Instead, it's got just cheese and flaky crust. Oh, it's so good. Anyways, okay, so I've got these with the egg wash. Then I'm going to go ahead and put on some seeds and just like kind of sprinkle it on. I don't, you know, it doesn't have to be a lot. It doesn't have to be in a pattern. Some of my other neurospicy friends, they would be like, oh, well, wait, it's got to be, if that's what you want, that's good. You don't have to, but if you want to. So anyway, so now that that's like this, it's all ready. I'm going to go ahead and put it in the oven. And the oven, like I said, is one of these little baby toaster oven, convection oven things. And so I've got it on 375, and I'm going to go ahead and cook that. I'm going to set the timer for 25 minutes, but really, I think I'm going to set it for 15 so I can look at it. I think 20 minutes is probably going to be more than enough time to get those done. And then you will end up with these amazing cookies. Oh my goodness, wait till you see this. Oh yes. Isn't that beautiful? Put it a little on our little tray for now. I can't help it. One more thing of Christmas. All my friends are like, I got all my stuff down. I'm like, yeah, no. I still have one more Christmas thing. Yay. Very excited. I'll have littles, and so this will be their first experience with this one, with these type of cookies. So they really liked the budak last time I made it. So that's why I was thinking of making it again. The only thing that's weird is in the smaller oven, it cooks up a little bit. It looks a little different, but whatever. Anyway, so then once you break that open, it's fresh cookie. So good. I have no idea about what the nutrients are or anything like that. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll put the recipe into the comment. Sorry for talking with my mouth full. Hold on. I'll put the recipe in the comment, and then I'll go ahead and, if I did something else, I'll go ahead and put it in like parentheses or something, telling you what else I used. But this recipe, even as it is in the book, is amazing. So this did turn out okay. Yeah. All right. Happy New Year, everybody. I wish everybody a healthy, happy, amazing year. And just remember, you're awesome. Have a great year. Bye. Bye. How many videos do I have like this? Bye.